everybody, let's welcome our special guest today, Songeta. Sorry, NW God, for interrupting your roster review. Fresh off of his 2024 free-to-play farming guide, where he tells you not to farm Imperial Troopers and the Executor, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I really found it interesting. So you mentioned it last week, I think, in a video. What was the video last week? Because then you went into more depth today, right?
Yeah, so I just made a video like highlighting some teams because I was already making my guide, and these teams that are good that you do want eventually, I was like, they don't fit into my first 8 or 10 teams. So I was like, don't work on these for the first year, and I put Imperial Troopers in there. Songeta, I'm just reading the chat. Someone said Songeta is bad at GHC. He needs to will harder. That made me laugh.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I put Imperial Troopers in there. I knew people would disagree a lot. But the thing is, I embraced Imperial Troopers in my mid-2023 guide when I kind of went away from Phoenix. And part of that was because they moved Hera to a hard node. But they've made a lot of changes since then. I mean, Captain Rex is awesome. Like, so Phoenix is going to be your, like, you need one super strong team, regardless of faction, to get for like arena, galactic war. And like the light side, dark side battles are pretty easy. So you don't need Imperial Troopers for those like neutral things, because Phoenix is going to be awesome, and it actually made them even more efficient to farm. So to me, it lines up perfectly with just a traditional Palpatine Thrawn unlock, which is it's super nice to just unlock those. I mean, legendaries aren't the only thing, but unlocking a new character right at 5 stars without having to like grind it specifically is so nice, especially when the team you get it with is already amazing. So my first dark side team I want like to fully invest in is like Palpatine, Vader, Thrawn, probably Tarkin in there because you're going to be using him for the dark side fleet challenges. And then 5th, probably Moff Gideon or like TIE Fighter Pilot. Moff Gideon's really nice. Like, I love the demoralized ability. And I actually started a brand new free-to-play account. So I don't know if I've been talking as if that's known because I already recorded a video for it that comes out tomorrow. But yeah, I made a new free-to-play account. I'm following this exact guide. I'm really excited for it. It really making this guide really got me excited to try it out. I think going Negotiator, especially getting that Marauder, you're going to go toe-to-toe with all the same meta fleets that you would with Executor. Instead of relicking up some crappy bounty hunters that you're not as, and like TIE Fighter Pilot that you're not as excited about, you can just put that into Anakin and GK and stuff. And I don't know, I'm super jazzed about it. Imperial Troopers are great, and when I get to use, like, borrow a hero and use Veers, because I'm running, like, at the start of the game, you get like Gideon and Dark Trooper. Like I have Veer's lead from the guest, and I have Gideon Dark Trooper, and it's really nice, but it's like, it's just a freebie that I'm getting. So yeah, I'll let you comment now. I know I've gone on for a while, but yeah, I'm really excited about this path.
I'm excited to see you farm it, because to me, I felt like you had a lot of stuff in there, and if you're gonna farm it, so this is, this will be your second account? So you've only got one account right now, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, so last year was a year for me that I started a couple free-to-play accounts because I wanted to see what it was like. I was talking about making this free-to-play guide, and I'm like, man, I haven't done this in years. So I did an account at the beginning of the year, and I ran to level 85, and I gave it away. And then all of a sudden, like, as soon as I finished that, they announced all the changes to the guild shop where they were making Hermit Yoda, and Wampa and everybody more available in there. And that's when I said, well, now let's do this Jabba Rush. So I'm doing this free-to-play Jabba Rush account right now that I'm working on. And I get advice all the time. Go get Executor. It's like, no, I'm just getting Jabba. I just want to see how long it takes to go straight to Jabba, I'm really curious because you've got mixed in there. You've got the Negotiator with the Marauder. And the Marauder, and you've mentioned this, those 3 Bad Batch you've got to have in there are going to require a lot of Chirotechs. And if you're going to farm those 3, you might as well farm the other 2 as well, right? Or one more. I guess only one more. It's going to be
I'm throwing it
5s, right?
Yeah, not 5. I mean, yeah, it could be 5s. Actually, that would probably be cheaper. Yeah, I put Shock in there because I think she runs the team better. as a fifth, or she helps the team better as a fifth. But yeah, fives, I really probably should have put that in there as an option. I talked about farming fives as an option, but yeah, his ship is on his node too, and that really helps with the fleet. So yeah, that's probably a better idea.
I meant Bad Batch 5s, though. Sorry, I didn't say that clearly. I should have... Because he's not in the ship, right?
Bad Batch 5?
Wait a minute. What am I thinking of?
Bad Batch 5s?
Excuse me while I exit the screen. Hold
There's
on.
no Bad Batch
Hold on.
5s.
Hold on. I had a, I don't know what happened. I meant Echo.
Echo? Oh yeah, definitely had Echo.
What is the matter with me? Why was I thinking Bad Batch 5s?
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
But also something someone pointed out, I think Farm Boy Luke is on the same node as Echo, so that's like another 2-for-1 if you're like farming for CLS. You're working on that already.
Now let's talk a little bit about that. I guess it would pitch in there. And you mentioned that Kanan is on the same node as. By the way, forgive me. I don't know what I was talking about there. For some reason, I was taking Echo and making him 5s, and my brain made Echo into 5s. So
Makes sense.
You talked about Kanan being part of Echo of Ezra's node too, but Kanan is available in the Squad Arena shop pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Okay. But what else, man?
Because
so
if you're...
I think clearly I disagree with you about the Troopers, but that's the great thing about the game. I love the fact that you took Marauder and decided to change up your entire farming guide because Marauder came out basically, and I just think that's great. And anytime we think of something new, I think. But I'm looking forward to seeing you play that. Yeah. Any more thoughts on the guide? I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through your actual full video.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely recommend doing the whole video to just get a big picture of my plan too. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like you can approach. There's many different ways to approach the game, and like they all work. I mean, Imperial Troopers are amazing. Like they're a great team. They are a super strong early game. Like it's gonna be fun and easy. My big thing is like there's so many priorities to get to. You need to make room for them somewhere. And Imperial Troopers have their main purpose is fit elsewhere. So, and Phoenix also kind of fits the 2 assault battles thing because they get Secrets and Shadows with Rex. They can actually make a dent in it now. And then they have the Rebels one. So there's 2. It's a 2-for-1 on assault battles too with Phoenix. But yeah, with Marauder, it just dawned on me. So ships never get accelerated. Like Marauder's farmable. It's 1 shard at a time. Just like the oldest ship in the game is 1 shard at a time when you farm it on a node. But Bad Batch, the characters, they've been accelerated for a while. So I just started looking at it more closely and trying to take note of all these efficiencies, which also led me to say, if you're starting an account like right now, probably Leia you should go for first, because by the time you start working on that GL, like I'm not gonna rush like immediately. I'm gonna wait till the end of the year, start working on a GL, because then her last requirements will be accelerated.
Right.
So you can work on other stuff before then, but like they'll be accelerated by the end of the year, and then there's like. If you get Sith Eternal first or something, yes, it's faster, but there's all this regret that like, okay, I put so much into this and he's like the worst one. But it's like, if you got Leia first, she beats every other Galactic Legend. It's just like such a long-term investment just for a little bit more time. And I think people always like to comment, oh, you shouldn't do this, that'll take longer or something. And it's like, that's not the only consideration. Yes, it might take longer, but Kyrotechs, yes, are painful. But just because something is painful doesn't mean it's not worth doing. So the Kyrotech investment on the Bad Batch, to me, is worth it. The rest of the guide, I've tried to avoid a lot of Kyrotechs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, quicker, easier, more seductive is the path to the dark side. Just sometimes you got to take the pain and take the long path, right?
Yeah, and then like Leia, Jabba, and JML have a lot of good overlap. So if you go like Leia, Jabba, JML, by the time you get to JML, not too much to do.
Yeah, agree 100%. And I think we are on the same page here. I think that Leia, if you're starting the game in 2024 or starting a new account, she's just got to be the first Galactic Legend. And I don't know what the next Galactic Legend is that'll be coming out, but I think it's by September, all of her requirements will be double node farms.
Yeah.
And there's you've got R2's a journey, but not really. You'll get R2 done. CLS journey is one of the easier journeys in the game to get done as well. And the rest of this is just farming. It's just The rest of it's
Yeah.
just grabbing characters, farming them. You got to get a bunch of Kyrotex, but man, and she's so
Yeah, the
dang good,
relics
man.
aren't super high. There's only like one relic 8, and there's no ships. Like the ship farming, like for Slicker and Ray, I mean, people don't rush Ray that much, but like Slicker, you have to get all those ships, and they're not, most of them aren't enticing ships. Like, I don't care about the first store fleet, and then you have to like wait for that event over and over again. It's just, I don't know. The no ships thing is underrated.
I agree. I agree. You know, we talk about all the time that it takes 6 months to do a ship from start to finish, assuming you don't do any refreshes or buy shards or anything.
Hmm.
And if you're gonna do that, you've got if you are doing a farm that has ship, you got to plan it out 6 months ahead of time. There's just no way around it. And I know that like
Yeah, you get
Luke
started
only
soon.
needs a
Yeah.
6-star Y wing and C only needs a 6-star TIE bomber, but you're really gonna take those things to 6 stars and then stop? I mean, that's just kind of dumb. Um, but yeah, I agree. I agree. The fact there's no ship in here, this farm is super easy is not the word, but it's going to be the most accessible galactic legend by the time we get to September, and by then you should have farmed a bunch of different teams anyway at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for it, honestly. I got in a pretty decent guild off the bat, because I asked my guild leader, because we have like a few different guilds. I was like, "Can I just get in our worst guild?" They're like, "Yeah," and I didn't know what it was gonna be. It's 170 million, which like I feel is like a pretty great starting point. I've seen people get kind of close to that just from searching random guilds that aren't like gated. But I don't know. I feel bad. It's going to be such a nice advantage. They're doing low level Endor raid, and all I need is like to get a 5-star Gideon, and I can get rewards. So I'm actually gonna get him up to 5 stars just to like access. Back in the day, you wanted to rush Zeb to like 7 stars because you needed a
Yeah.
7-star character to get in the raid, but you only need 5-star now, which is kind of crazy. And then since they gift you Moff Gideon at the beginning, you're like 50 out of 145 shards there already. It's awesome.
Well, I'm going to give you a warning right now. If you're starting in a better
Yeah.
than suckball guild, people are going to complain at
Mhm.
you in comments. They're like, "You're
I
in a
know.
big guild."
I
It's
know
like,
they are.
and I've said repeatedly, I got videos out there. You can find a better guild right off the bat.
Yeah.
Especially if you have contacts in the game, you can get into a guild, not necessarily an end game guild, but you can get into a mid game guild, and if they learn that you're getting your tickets every day, trust me, there are guilds that are desperate for players that will play every day and get their tickets. And if you can prove to somebody you do that for a month or two, they'll keep you around for the long haul.
Yeah. And like I don't feel so bad about it because when I like started brand new, no YouTube, no anything, no one knew me. I got into a guild way bigger than like I had any business being in because I was able to convince them. I was like post level 85, but I like did really well in Grand Arena in the old system, and I used that to leverage it. So like it was after level 85, but pre level 85, I still was like joining up higher guilds as soon as I possibly could.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm not starting at the bottom of the rung, but I never promised everything would be exactly the same. I'm gonna take every advantage I can get, and I already added like 25 allies from the guild. Those ally characters you get, like if you get like Giant Knight Revan in a Cantina node, that is so much fun. Like a relic Giant Knight Revan, you just AoE kill everyone. You don't even have to have your team that strong. That's kind of how I'm getting through dark side nodes, just borrowing the heroes
Yep.
if I come to a hard one. But yeah, so that's how I get around Imperial Troopers not being there.
I'm a huge proponent of that, and I say it all the time. And in my Discord, we've got a room for getting allies. You know, just go
Hmm.
get some really powerful allies. And if you've got an end game roster or a late game roster, take on some folks that are new players. Be kind to folks, and
Yeah,
because they could take your Jedi Revan or anybody's got an AOE, especially. You bring in a relic character with an AOE, and they're pretty much going to be able to clear every single node of
yeah,
light and dark side battles and Cantina with that. So help somebody out, put those characters out there, get some allies of new players, and yeah, and really, I'm a huge proponent of that. I think it's great because then you can really farm what you want to farm, and you don't have to go out there and say, well, I got to gear up to gear 11 this team that I may or may not use down the road just to get through these dumb
yeah.
battles.
Right. Yeah, and the
Well,
challenges too. You can like borrow a hero. It's kind of
right.
funny.
Well, I don't want to take up all your time, man. I'm glad you joined us. What else is up with the channel this year? You got any big things on the horizon? I love the free to play account, and I look forward to seeing those videos. But what else is up with you this year in 2024, Songeta?
I mean, that's going to be like a massive component of it. Like that'll be a source of different content. I want to do my first. I have like a day one update video for tomorrow. I want to do my first Galactic War. So that's a big thing. Other than that, like pretty much business as usual. Like my bread and butter is Grand Arena. I do the roster reviews. But it's nice to switch it up. Like spicing things up really is nice. I have a bunch of seasonal videos that rotate. I'm due for probably a top 25 characters sometime. Let me just ask you, it had been a long time since I started a new account, so I didn't know how much you could do in one day. What level, the last time you started a brand new account, what level did you get to the first day, like without like hyperdrive or something?
I got the graphics here. Let me pull it up. I literally have a table built of this. Hang on, I'm gonna get there. I think it's like level. I want to say 25, but I feel like it's more than that even. Where am I here? Nooch to.
Yeah, I'll wait till you find it, then I'll share.
Let's see here. Okay, my first 12 weeks. I got it open on the screen right now. People are gonna be able to see it, but I got week one. Week one, I got to level 44. I can bring it here too. Can you? There's a delay on the
week. Oh, but that's by week. So on day one, I'm at level 37.
So you may have dedicated yourself a little bit more on day one than I did.
Probably.
Yeah, you probably did. Like if you really get in there and you start right at your payout, and you do all the refreshes, you come back and revisit it like 3 or 4 times throughout the day, which you probably did. You probably can get farther along than I did on day one.
Yeah, well, the big thing was I didn't know they did this. They like vault you to level 20 immediately as part of like the new updates for new players.
Oh.
And then they give you a ton of energy, like all the corresponding bonus energy you would have got, and then some XP. So I just was using that energy like kind of wisely. Like I wasn't just simming a node I had already done. I was trying to progress as far as I possibly could along each path. So I maxed out all the lights about, so you can get up. I'm up through sector 4, like zone 4, in both normal and hard, and that's helping me get a lot of Darth Vader shards. I'm almost getting through Dark Side, even though I haven't really like tried to invest too much in Dark Side.
Yeah.
And then I'm maxed out as far as I can get in Cantina. I need to get to level 46 to get into the 4th zone of Cantina. So that's what I did. I just like. I mean, I was just autoing things like while watching TV or something. It took a long time, but I was like shocked how much progress I got. And then also opening all the bronziums. I actually pulled a Plo Koon, so that's a free 50 shards I don't have to worry about, and he's like gonna be part of my fleet plan. So I was like over the moon about that. But I was just trying to like leverage every possible resource.
So, and I've messed your face up here a couple of times trying to find this here thing, but.
Yeah, no problem.
So was that bundle that you got for a new player? Was that just in the game, or was that on the web store?
It was just in the store. Like it just popped up. It was like, oh, new player, yeah, a ton of experience and energy.
Does that appear to be permanent, or is it
energy?
Is it permanent or temporary?
I think it's like a permanent thing. Like when was the last time you did that?
So. Yeah, so when I started my account at the beginning of last year, beginning of 2023, they came out with a similar bundle like 3 weeks into my start, and I was already too far along to get it. But it was only in the shop, and it was on the web store only, and it was only there for like a month, and it was gone, and I haven't seen it since. So I wonder if this year they brought out that bundle as maybe a permanent thing for new players to jump ahead all the time. Tim says he got it in August when he started, so maybe I just had bad timing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. They gave me that, and then they gave me like a calendar that has some good stuff. It's like what they gave me $1 million. The calendar gave me 1650 XP, 1,000,000 credits. It's got 100 of the green ability mats later, 60 of the blue, 30 of the purple. So it's like really good stuff.
I think that is a temporary thing. Maybe they made it was temporary last year. It came out a few times last year. You had to hit it at the right moment because, like, once you hit level 40 or something, you couldn't get it or something like that. That's great, though. I mean, hey,
Interesting.
if it helps people move through the
I was
first,
caught off guard. I was like,
yeah,
I'll take it.
anything to get you to level 85 faster is a positive thing because that's just the initial grind. It really is a grind. As much as anything else in this game is grindy, that those first 85 levels, I would think that a lot of people, they probably lose a lot of players between level 1 and 85, and they can find ways to speed that up. You know, they recently came out with, I think last year, they give you 5,000 sim tickets like right off the bat, and
oh yeah. I got that. Yeah, I got all the sim tickets. I was like, oh, nice.
yeah, that's a big deal because that was, they didn't used to do that, and that was just pain. That it was, and when you could go to a game like Raid or Marvel Strike Force or any other game, and sim tickets didn't even exist. Yeah, that was a competitive disadvantage for Galaxy of Heroes. So, well, I'm glad they're doing that, man. That's awesome. I hope that's a permanent thing. I think they should leave that there. I'm gonna watch your day one video, man. I look forward to that.
Yeah, man. Tomorrow.
Cool, dude. Well, Songeta, hey, man, Happy New Year. It's good to see you here on January 1st.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Nooch. Thanks for having me on. I know your viewers are antsy to get back to those roster reviews, so I'll head out, but I appreciate it.
Well, it's really good to visit with you and good to see you, and I'm sure we'll hook up again at some point this year, and have a good one, man.
For sure. Happy New Year.
All right, everybody, there's Songeta, the big joy, and a big round of applause for your pal and mine. Go check out his channel. If you haven't seen Songeta's channel, you're missing out. I'm going to tell him something here.